So they give us the square root graph. Did they need to give this to you? No, because you're supposed to have this one memorized from your colored papers. But there it is. What are the key points on the square root graph? 0, 0, 1, comma 1, 4, comma 2. Those are the points that you know. Before I go and do anything else, I'm going to rewrite this equation. They seem to like to write the minus 2 on the left. I like to write it as plus 2 on the right. I also notice in this one, it's not in factored form. I have a horizontal compression. You'd multiply x by 1/3. Your gut, when you see this question, is you would say, it goes 3 to the left. It doesn't go 3 to the left, because when we write it in factored form, it's actually x plus 1, 1 to the left. Move the 2 over, plus 2. Okay? And some of you are looking at this and going, yeah, I definitely would have forgot it there. This is where that note, that special note about the factored form comes in. So our negative, outside the function, vertical reflection. You will multiply y by a negative 1. The 3, inside the function, a horizontal compression. You will multiply x by 1/3. Plus 1, inside the function, horizontal translation. You will move 1 to the left. And finally, the 2, vertical translation. You will move 2 up. Okay. Definitely have to choose 0, 0, because it's your starting point. Do I have to choose 1, 1? No, I can if I want to. In fact, in this one, I'm going to go all the way and choose 9, 3, which is not one of the typical square root points. Why do I want to choose 9, 3? Because I have to multiply my x values by 1/3. If I chose 1, 1, I'd get a fraction. Not the end of the world. But if you don't want fractions, if you choose 4, 2, you'd still get a fraction. So if I chose 9, 3, I'm not going to get a fraction. So sometimes if we do a little bit of mental math before we start our question, we can make our question easier. I sometimes think this is one of the most unfair things that math does. Students that are better at math choose the math that's easy while they're doing the question. And students that aren't as good as at math choose harder questions. It shouldn't be that the stronger math students get easier questions and the weaker math students get harder questions. Same thing happens if you make mistakes while you're doing your question, you often make your question harder. So students that aren't as good make more mistakes, and they get harder questions. It doesn't seem fair, but that's one of the things that happens in math. So we have 0, 0. We have stretches, compressions, we have translations. So in showing our work, we'll have to do 2 sets. Write out what's going to happen above this one. My stretches, reflections, y by a negative 1. Basically, it's all your multiplying things first, all your adding things second. Y by negative 1, x by 1/3, that'll stay at 0, 0. X by 1/3, that'll be 3, negative 3. 1 to the left, 2 up, 1 to the left, 2 up. I'll do that later. And if we go to draw this, I have the new points negative 1, 2. and to comma -1. And I only chose 2 points. So here, there is the possibility that you could easily draw the wrong final graph. Okay? First of all, I'm going to make a note that 0, 0 was my starting point. Where did 0, 0 go? It went to -1, comma 2. So now I know, oh, that's where I should start my graph. But now I have options. I have the option to draw my graph curved like this or curved like this. How do I know that my graph has to look like this? Okay? Sometimes we also have to have a visualization of this all the way through. Can you see the vertical reflection would make it go like this? Then horizontal compression makes it a little bit squished in, 1 to the left, 2 up, but I know this shape because that vertical reflection would flip it down. It doesn't all of a sudden change to this shape. So the shape of our graph, because of the vertical reflection, means that it's now curving this way, and then, or sorry, that's backwards for you, that would be this way, and we translate it afterwards. So circle 8 and 10.